Yeah.
And it says here, quote, "We should get a view as to what will be handled by the Win-97 shell and what will not. And if not, how is the needed extension integrated into the Win-97 environment?" Close quote. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Were you told in or about April of 1995 that one of the issues in terms of planning that was needed to be decided was what would be handled by the Win-97 shell and what would not be?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's meant by Win-97 shell here. I don't remember seeing that at the time.
Well, you know what a shell is in this context, do you not, sir?
Yes.
And you recognize Win-97 as a reference to what ultimately became Windows 98, do you not, sir?
No. The fact that we use a name like that before we've decided what's in a product doesn't mean that when we used that name back then, it referenced the things that eventually got into the product.
Let me be sure if I understand that last answer. Was Win-97 a reference that was used within Microsoft to refer to what ultimately became Windows 98?
It was a term that was used to refer to a project. When it was used, none of us knew either what would be in the project or what it would be called. So anytime you see that reference, you can't assume it's a reference to the things that eventually became Windows 98. All you know is they're referring to the next project related to enhancing Windows.
Let me ask the question this way. Was the project that was internally described within Microsoft as Win-97 the project that ultimately resulted in Windows 98?
I believe so.
Okay. Mr. Gates, let me show you a document marked as Government Exhibit 390.
We go backwards.
The first message here purports to be a message to you and Mr. Moritz and Mr. Alchin on February 24, 1997 at 11:07 p.m. Do you see that?
Yes.
And it talks about a focus group report, and it says that most of the people in the focus group were Navigator users, and then it goes on to say about those Navigator users, quote, "They said they would not switch, would not want to download IE4 to replace their Navigator browser. However, once everything is in the OS and right there, integrated into the OS, in their face, so to speak, then they said they would use it because there would be no more need to use something separate," close quote. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you recall being told that in or about February 1997?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you to turn to the 5th page of this exhibit. And this is a original message dated February 24, 1997 at 10:38 a.m. Also relating to the Memphis Focus Groups report.
It's an enclosure to the message above.
It's an enclosure to the message above. That is, what you have is first a message dated February 24, 1997 at 11:07 p.m. that went to you, Mr. Moritz, and Mr. Alchin, and then you have another message that was an enclosure to the message that went to you and others, correct?
Yes.
So you would have received this second message when you received the message that was addressed to you, correct?
If I did, which I told you I don't remember, but I have no reason to doubt that I did.
Right. The next to last paragraph on the 5th page of the exhibit, the one that ends with the Microsoft Document Production stamp 8179. Do you have that page?
Yes.
The next to last paragraph of this material that was sent to you on February 24th, 1997, if in fact it was, on page 5 says, quote, "It seems clear that it will be very hard to increase browser market share on the merits of IE4 alone. It will be more important to leverage the OS asset to make people use IE instead of Navigator." Do you see that?
Yes.
Were you told that in or about February of 1997?
Out of the context of this memo?
Well, first, let's ask, were you told that in the context of this memo?
Those sentences seem to appear in this memo that's talking about some features. It wasn't a product demo, but some features, including WebView, that they showed to some end users.
Let me try to break the question down. First, do you recall being told in any context, in or about February of 1997, quote, "It seems clear that it will be very hard to increase browser market share on the merits of IE4 alone. It will be more important to leverage the OS asset to make people use IE instead of Navigator"?
Those words?
Let me begin with that. Do you recall being
No.
communicated those words in or about February of 1997?
I said no.
Do you recall